Well, we're trading map picks over here in our final series of stage 1 of Challengers, and it's going to be Winthrop University to take down Icebox in a really strong fashion after that side swap here at Uber. I mean, they came out of the gate, and they came out of the gate swinging.
It wasn't even after the side swap, even beforehand. Winthrop on defense with the double duelist, winning every first kill scenario. I think like Infiltrator and Moobs are, for the most part, involved in like 80% of the first kill scenarios. Like, you have done well to position your duelists to be fighting, you know, early in the round. And they're more often than not winning. Infiltrator's 5-1, Moves to 6-2 over the course of the map. Infiltrator absolutely farms. Picking up that operator, and it, you know, as we sort of discussed, the Glazers do have the tools to answer these, like, this operator play, especially like posted up defensively. But they can't unseat Infiltrator, who's just a little too canny and just plays safe enough to come into the mid to late round when you can't answer the operator. And he's still able to make use of it even in retake scenarios, which is kind of impressive.
It was dangerous. As soon as he had the open hand, it was like, all right, okay, like, this got to be priority number 1 to take that away from Infiltrator. But I mean, a shift. I mean, when you're looking at Icebox, like, this double duelist, because we talked about the potential of comp changes going into this too, and we saw that on the side of the Glazers here, but Winthrop sticking with that double.
Yeah, and I mean, you can see why. When this composition works, it works for the reasons of the duelists pop off. You know, looking kind of back over their loss to SAT Esports, you know, it was one of those situations the duelists did fine, but there wasn't as much of a supporting role around them, and they also didn't pop off nearly as much as they had here. I mean, you get the operator in hand for Infiltrator, he's going to find success with it. And not only did he do that, he did that time again. It's just, he was takeover mode. 27-9, 5 first kills. I mean, that is a stat line that just says, yep, he single-handedly won the game. And again, there's a lot more to it than that. Like, his job becomes much easier when there's a Lear blocking everyone from being able to see you at long range, especially in those offensive pop-ups. But it's just one of those situations that when he's snapping and he's shooting like that, yeah, you can see why they like to play this composition. They just feel super good about their ability to outskill their opponents, and that was kind of the synopsis of this entire map in my mind.
Yeah, they were on a cooker. I mean, some of the shots they were hitting here were absolutely disgusting. And now we're tied up in the series. And this is where we need to start talking about some of the real stuff, because the elephants in the room, well, the Glazers, that means they're headed for the promotion regulation tournament. They had to win this one 2-0 to have a chance to make their way through. So that condition here is gone Uber, but we still have 2 other ones. The Glazers, they're not playing for themselves anymore. Instead, it's going to be determining if they win or lose, if it's going to be YFP or Thinking Men making their way on through.
Yeah, that's the easiest way to think of it right now. Thinking Men want the Glazers to win. YFP want Winthrop to win. That's kind of all you need to know. So, you know, it's pretty wild. Like, there's these 2 teams in the other group whose fortunes are squarely in the hands of these 2 teams here. And I think for the Glazers, like, you've got to consider, you know, they're going to come and play out the game. They're going to come play every game, but them already headed towards the relegation promotion tournament, probably pretty frustrating, probably also pretty demoralizing. How does that affect them now throughout the rest of the series? It is important preparation. That's part of their preparation, at least for that tournament, because they're not automatically relegated. They can fight for it. I'm quite sure that they're, you know, the vibes are not exactly premium in the Glazer camp right now.
I'm definitely curious how we're going to be seeing Sunset go down, because, yeah, the fact that you know that you're headed towards the promotion regulation tournament now and you don't have a chance to play in that mid-season cup, I mean, Shift, that definitely does have to hurt. But when you're looking at the Glazers too, and the fact that they are setting on this 0-4 record, yeah, maybe that stings. Maybe it stings a lot. But at the same time, I would want to just try and grasp at what we got left here, which is a chance to not be this team that couldn't get this win. Like, they have that to prove at least.
And there is the element of, like, this is still, for them, a great opportunity to continue to build up on your map pool in a tournament that's going to be really high pressure to get back in for stage 2. So you know, if I'm speaking candidly, I think Thinking Men should be in some DMs right now and be like, yo, boys, like, step up for us, like, flat out, like, we need you guys here. So, you know, there may be some camaraderie there or whatever it happens to be, but I still think that for the Glazers, I don't look at this as like the season's over, we're done, so we're just going to kind of phone it in. I still think there's plenty of opportunity for them to continue to work on the things that they need to work on. And in this map, hey, they played this map last week, lost it to SAD Esports. They didn't have a particularly great defensive half. So that's, I think, where their focus needs to be is, you know, let's get ourselves into prime spot. It wasn't a great stage for us. Yeah, we had our destiny in our own hands, but there's still a lot to work for to make sure we can do this again next stage. So I don't see them phoning it in is kind of where I'm going with this whole point.
Well, we got one more map and one more opportunity for the Glazers to take a win and bring Thinking Men over into the mid-season cup. We're going to be heading to Sunset and our agent select is ready, so I'll catch you two later.
Thank you, Sarah. Yeah, let's dive into this one now. As for the Glazers, their fate is already sealed, but they definitely have a chance to cause some ruckus on the other side of these groups here. And both these teams have, you know, we've seen some sunset from them. I don't know if it's been particularly compelling, but it's important to point out that this was a map that Turtle Troop managed to win against. That Winthrop managed to win against Turtle Troop, right? They made really good use of this breach comp. That's something I really enjoyed. Whereas the Glazers, yeah, they tended to actually use Fade in the past, but now they're really starting to see a lot of teams go with Gecko KO. Very powerful setup here. You can stack both initiators over at the A side and, you know, cycle through some of that util, make it really hard to hit. And you can use that Cypher maybe just to sort of hold that B side a little bit more lightly and even have some mid presence.
And on the offensive side, again, it kind of, this isn't going to come out the right way that I mean it to, but for the Glazers with the Gecko in play is you don't have to win the entirety of the site when you're on offense. You just have to win enough of it to make sure that the wingman can get the plant. And then your post plant kind of works itself around wherever your point of ingress was. So there's a level of complication that is almost taken out of the picture due to the fact that you're relying on essentially a 5.5v5 for some of this opening ideas, especially from the offensive half in particular. The only other curiosity point, though, is that this is the first time that they've ran this comp. And, you know, they have ran Gecko before, but it was with the breach. So now with the KO, this is, again, about trying to find enough of an opportunity to execute and create some vulnerabilities at the front doors of these sites, and then hopefully have the clearance behind it to get the wingman to plant. So you're kind of meshing some of the ordnance that you've had in the past in terms of previous compositions that they've played, whether that be through their qualifier or in particular last week versus SAD Esports.
This might get ugly straight off the rip here. Winthrop position just to thrust directly into mid with 4. But no sound being made. They've completely cut that. So Precision, unaware of what is happening here.
No more trees.
There it is, moves, gets the jump. On Precision. Now Winthrop well and truly have control of mid. The Glazers though can play a pretty powerful post plant with this setup, and they have halls well and truly held.
Yeah, elbow's a great spot to try to hold with pistols, especially considering the utility they have, but that's just an unnecessary peek right there for Drone trying to play a little bit off the dark cover. That doesn't work. And now all of a sudden the paint shells clear out more space. And honestly, yeah, there's really nowhere for the Glazers to go except for in the waiting arms of the Jerk, who they didn't realize was holding that back angle. So, man, interesting call right there. I think that all kind of just dissolves off of the opening contact over the side of the dark cover. I just don't think you have to take that contact if you don't want to.
Yeah, that was actually pretty ugly for the Glazers, if I'm honest with you. That sort of timing swing, I guess, the Drone makes over towards A-Link. Comes up with very, very little. There's another Glazers player trying to play around that dark cover, I think Mike pointed out. And Jerk getting a couple of freebies there from Spawn. Not a great start here for this team. And again, we already mentioned, a little bit hard to sort of get your head right after already being sent to the relegation tournament. Probably see some of these cheeky one-ways here for Jerk set up. These are really hard to play around right now.
Yeah, facts. And I will say, go ahead.
Sorry, I think in the past we've also seen Zachary on the Cypher on this map, so we definitely have been really piloting that duelist role now.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, that's the thing about this team, and I know there's been a lot of conversation surrounding, you know, it is kind of a different ask for him. I will say his races look particularly good. Wow, one ways. Yikes. I was about to say, kind of leading into this, not only are you seeing the potential for, you know, burst plays coming out of the Glazers, but they do have enough luxury with the plant and a couple of kills to go into stingers here. But all that is just Jerk putting together a one-way and it completely stops the round in its tracks. Moves still getting work. Sheriff mid-map. This guy is unreal.
Gonna be an illuminating horde there. Hands lets it tick. Here's the C. Still though, Stinger gonna be a problem.
Remaining.
Even if you are chained to some degree to the one spot. Infiltrator is able to respond to that pretty quickly. Oh, like they know where precision is already.
Yeah. Wow. I mean, when you're hitting sheriff shots through mid without any real support, you got to be feeling like God's greatest gift to Valorant, right? Like, it's just unreal. And so now the Glazers are finding themselves kind of around behind where they normally would be with that little force buy into Stingers, only finding a single kill. They're back into Sheriffs here before they can go to the full purchase. So it's like a bonus plus now for Winthrop, right? Like, it just sets them up for so much success with their eco.
It's a horrendous way to start.
Yeah.
The attackers. Because you're right, this lets Winthrop build up a buffer and have comfortable bonuses now where they're favored at every point in this round. 3-2 at the very least, having get the orb there, but Gucci, that was a mid shot. Like after a knife came down and maybe an attempt from Ange to play off of it. Drone needs to re-clear now.
And there's just no easy way of doing this. I mean, to be fair, that's just a really good peek by Gucci, just playing a bit of an off timing through the knife. And this walk down mid, well, the problem is it's crossfire set. I would say there's a lot of significance here. Ooh, Moves may get caught here with the Prowler out, but actually it does reveal the hit is pretty imminent. Follow-up paint shells coming through. Paranoia also connects. Beautiful picture from our observer team right there. And that'll be enough to clean things up.
Down mid.
Wow. Yeah, off to the races with the Zeddy Flawless or Winthrop.
And it's pretty obvious what they're going for in that round, I think. And the Cypher over at B can tell you that there's no pressure over there. I think there was even a clear of B lobby, like manually by Jerk, who just goes up and has to poke around. So they've eliminated every other possibility. And then they sit and double stack top mid with all that util. The C's to hold them in place.
Oh, this is a nice spot.
That is ugly. The Glazers are not. They're not looking great right now, I'll be honest with you.
There.
Not quite yet, but at least we got full weapons here. So, again, don't let those first 3 rounds demoralize you. Whoa, look at this setup, though. Prowler on one side, C's behind it. Oh, my goodness, but Infiltrator doesn't collect, and the Glazers now all of a sudden have a chance to capitalize. It's a hell of an idea, just a little bit of a whiff, honestly.
That would have been an unreal way to kick off this bonus round. Ooh. Not sure if that... Oh, I see. That was intentional. Gucci can play from inside the dark cover. Here's the Nightfall, though. All of the Glazers grouped up here. Yes, better weapons, sure. And the timing just missed there by Zachary as the door shuts in his face. Nasi takes a hit. 4 to work with here. Nasi at 1 HP.
Wow, Moves is going to have to play this 1v4, essentially. Doesn't have much of an exit. Great blast pack. Breaks the setup of the aim. Fault line doesn't quite get there in time to touch, so... Yeah, good moment of recovery here for the Glazers. Nasi just down to a single point of health, essentially. And that will likely be the round. Jerk, no reason not to go with this. See if you can try to find the way to punish a little bit more on this Glazers economy. Great flash throw over the top. Timing is perfect, and the Glazers only lose 1 as they get their first round of the board.
Yeah, not the bonus that Winthrop we're looking for by any stretch. But again, with how they've looked so far this match, now with guns to their name, starting to feel what they can do. Why, that util just so much from 3 different axes. Great reactions from Precision to Cyber Cage that up here and give him a place to play from.
1 enemy remaining.
Yeah, I mean, it's a really cool idea. And that's the power of Winthrop's planning and repetitions in particular on this map. They've kind of put together a lot of really unique ideas, but yeah, that, you know, I kind of re-looking back at it, there is kind of a little bit of a highlight. Like Precision drops kind of a reactionary cyber cage, and that actually kind of breaks the aim a little bit. So another good moment there, kind of highlighting one of the players for TG as the walk-up now through mid is supported by flash play. And yeah, how about this for creativity? The defense almost has to reset and play from the offensive side of the map here if they want to have any chance of holding this site.
Nasi lost his nerve there. Zachary bearing down upon him so fast, he tried to get the safety. That's a free kill given over. Infiltrator at least able to play off the trip there in market. It's going to be a problematic position if the Glazers can't clear it. The smoke breaks it up. Infiltrator got a 1v1 and a freebie through the smoke. 3 kills now in this round. Would love someone else to come up and tap the spike while he has the showstopper out. And he's just able to play from the fringes of that season, the paint shells. Not affecting the omen. And they're straight into the firing line, and Infiltrator makes it 4 for the round. All about that market control, baby.
Yeah, I mean, that's just things that you cannot allow to happen, like, legitimately. It's a great individual play. I don't want to take anything away from Infiltrator, but you have to be able to trade that out. I mean, to be as, the word that comes to mind is surprised by that hit as they were considering the setup is borderline inexcusable. But Infiltrator continues to just heat up and showcase the hot hand. I mean, that is an impressive 4K. Not one that you would ever expect, legitimately.
Honorable mention to that dark cover, the Gucci
Truth, yeah.
That lets Infiltrator just take a 1 versus 1. The spray through the smoke was just the cherry on top, really.
Yeah, it's never just one player making one play, right? And that's the case with Winthrop. We talked about it with the double duelist setup on Icebox. There's always someone helping support those individual moments.
There's the one way.
Find you.
This time not intentionally dropped to allow Gucci to play from inside it. That was cute. There's gonna be a double swing here in just a moment. Oh, looks good, but it gets broken up by moves around the off angle. Out we go now. Winthrop, a little bit of a defensive pop. Gets them 2. Riku at least having to salvage one of those weapons here, but Ange living awful dangerously. Riku now next up onto the starter's block. There'll be time here for the breach and the raise to set up.
Well, that paranoia doesn't really clear as much as I think they were intending. Yeah, that's just not well timed.
Down A.
An Infiltrator just gets the angle for free. Doesn't really get pushed off by the dark cover either. He elects to push through it and Drone there to meet him. So now we go to the 2v2. Null Command at the ready if Drone feels necessary, but the timing about this dark cover fading is really where the round comes to grips. And now Ange left on 10 HP, trying to use this dark cover, but the reveal will come out. Ange will teleport away to try to give some sort of a distraction to this follow-up hit, but it's just not enough health to stand tall on it.
Still able to find 1 here, but just the economy from Winthrop. Something we mentioned at the start of the game with that second round force from the Glazers. It's pretty unbothered. Gucci sort of keeping a gun here. It's going to be very easy to buy all around this. And on the side of the Glazers, it goes from bad to worse, folks.
Yeah. Yeah, it really does, doesn't it? I mean, the ideas are fine if you're the Glazers. It's just, again, Infiltrator blows up around last round. And that's, to be fair, like, again, you just have to trade out better than that. And again, the enabling of Infiltrator to make that play happen is impressive without question. But these are moments, like, those are moments that have really been problematic for the Glazers. You know, why they only have 2 total map wins so far in this group stage. It's just things like that just cannot be allowed to happen. And now we're just, I mean, we're just trying to make something happen with pistols and a stinger, I believe Zach had off spawn. And that gets shut down, and Winthrop, I'm imagining, is not going to have too much of concern of pushing back the rest of this hit.
Not out. If that was a seize for moves, that would have been pretty devastating. I think it was actually just a horn thrown out. Okay, Infiltrator gets pushed off the angle. A little bit of a beat there from Dizzy, though. Does give away the game, and Drone. It's been Drone again in a short-handed round, but Jerk steps up and sprays through them. Winthrop out to 6 rounds here on defense, and the Glazers look nothing short of uninspired.
Yeah, this is the round that's important, though. I mean, this is where things can start to reset. And again, looking at the timeline, they've done well at getting in and getting the spike planted. It's just been a couple of moments. Again, the post plant really in that round 6 was everything. That's where you kind of look at it and say, "Ooh, okay, well, that's tough to swallow." But you got Null Command to help kind of get that opening entry. See if you can find a way to get Riku the plant off. It puts him 1 off of having a thrash, so that would be a tool that Riku, I'm sure, would love to be able to tally early. But here we go again. This is the same play that we saw from a couple of rounds ago where it was deterred by the cyber cage. Same situation in a certain regard, but as the Null Command gets popped, Winthrop are going to have an exact read on where this hit's coming from, but the good first blood by Drone and the little step away from precision is so well measured, and TG now have a good post plant, you'd think.
Now, Riku was there, though, at the very least here, playing up in B-Lobby, knows that Jerk is coming. They give away their position, though. That's Ange, at least, who's able to capitalize. Paranoia is good. Get up close towards Drone here. Gucci's still healthy. These are very, very difficult post plants to play.
Oh, yeah.
Widen the angle, you have to swing there. Here comes Crash in the swing off of it. Yeah. Elementary, my dear Watson, 2 rounds now for the Glazers.
Another moment where, again, I just got to give a little pat in the back to precision. Really tippable, and both of these aggressive hits down mid. The first time, again, I kind of talked about it, he just drops like a cyber cage at his feet, and that's enough to kind of pull Infiltrator's aim all over the place. And then this round gets a similar read on it and then backs up further just to make sure that the post plant stays a little bit more solid, and he kind of is just responsible for the flank. Make sure no one gets in towards B main. And the Glazers at the same front say, okay, we can read this fault line play. We're still going to push through. We're going to get the spike planted. The thrash gets earned. And that's just good discipline. That's the signs of stuff that we need to continue to see from the Glazers as they inevitably, again, have to play through that relegation promotion tournament later on.
They need this round, though, to break the economy of Winthrop, which has been thriving for the entire map so far. They get up mid pretty early. So much so that Winthrop weren't ready to have a crossfire on it, but the flash is good. Oh, it's brilliant. Here comes Infiltrator, far from done. Making a triple down as Riku falls to the showstopper. And everything going as planned for the defenders.
That's unreal. Like, he's just having a whale of a game, man. Whale of a series. And that's kind of the thing is, you know, not to make it sound like a one-for-one or like a one-dimensional standpoint, but, you know, doing a lot of work with CVAL last year, the teams that were at the top of the power rankings had a guy that was just different. And at the beginning of the CVAL history, a lot of teams kind of rode that pony the whole way home. And Winthrop continues to just find ways to not only have that spark, but
30
I'll
seconds
tell you,
left.
the help and the support around it is also really, really of high praise. And Infiltrator, when he gets going like this, it just feels like it's really hard to stop him. And the Glazers have not been able to find anywhere near a stall to what he's been able to provide so far in these last two maps.
And has been permitted here
10
to
seconds left.
recover the spike.
Planted.
Dark cover also protects him from being picked off instantly, but all of this information about the Omen's whereabouts is very well known. Good to the oh, made it? Okay, apparently not. Gets himself an elbow. Forward util out though. As a short-lived sign of hope here for the Glazers, who again get thrown back down into the slums.
Yeah, and now the half becomes to a point of you're just trying to do damage control. I mean, 7-5 really doesn't even feel likely, considering that you're going to be onto a weird bye here in this next round. They're going to have some players who've earned up a number of credits thanks to the loss bonus, which I don't know about you, Uber, but like anytime I bring that point up, I feel like I'm being a jerk. It's just like, well, they've lost so much that, you know, the pockets aren't terrible, but it is one of those situations that they're going to have some firepower to wield. Maybe a chance,
reset.
but
it got reset. That's the problem.
yeah, I know it. The thing is, it's one of those situations of you're hoping you can find a way to get to that 9-3, 8-4 tally at this point. If you can steal around here, which is doable with the Vandal, a Guardian, and a Showstopper, then all of a sudden, okay, maybe we pull a 7-5 and we can really figure out what's going wrong. But right now, Winthrop is just convincing, and they're controlling the conversation from really start to finish.
Double satchel tiles.
Yep.
Now off the fault line. Too easy.
I mean, that's,
Zachary trying to respond with the showstopper, though. Okay, we take those. That's a high-value kill, and Zachary's found a second. Oops. ADS swinging out there into mid. Hang about. The Glazers, like you said, had a real chance here, and now that's even more so the case.
Grenade!
yeah, clear the space out, collect some of these weapons if you can. Don't even need to, technically speaking. You got a wide open A site. They need to get the spike, though.
They need the spikes.
Yeah, that's going to be a little from the shadows pick. Fine. That's enough, though, for Nasi to rotate over. He still has Rolling Thunder, and you can wait for Jerk to get here or not. Just go in and stop the plant. And can he step into sight? That's the real question. Tries to, but never even looks to elbow, and Zach will be on for the potential ace.
I'm on holding angle here. Zach looking for his second ace of the day. 20. Gotta respect this now. The fight comes in on the other side of that box. Suffocate's thrown up here. Zachary brought down Jerk. 20 HP. 20. Sprayed through desperately. Oh my goodness, Jerk! You are disgusting! That is wrong! 4K for Jerk. 20 HP. Double spray down. It couldn't get any worse for the Glazers.
I mean, oh. Stuck in the mud. I mean, Zach bails him out of a round that looked like it really shouldn't have been winnable in the first place thanks to the weaponry, but I don't know if we get the replay. I mean, surely we get the replay of that. That is legitimately Jerk running forward, pulls out the spray from his opponents on the other side of the cyber cage, and then just hopes and prays that he picks the right spray down of his own, and it works out great. And initially, this play from Infiltrator is like a, what's up, brother? Like straight into his face again. You thought he was going to double down after the quick play with the Nightfall follow-up, but oh,
brother.
man.
Ooh.
That's
brother.
that's that's unreal.
Oh my
Again?
goodness. Okay, let's pick up where we left off, shall we? Infiltrator again, satchels into tiles. Gucci, gotta respect that off angle that Riku held, but
Spike
Winthrop
down
just
mid.
contacting. They are having fun with it now.
Yeah, the gloves are off.
Man, talk about adding insult to injury to an insurance premium increase. That is so rough for the Glazers. All right, moves. Hey, why don't you spray these guys down as well? Oh, man.
What's happening?
It's all gone wrong. 9 rounds on defense
Last
here
round
for
before the
Winthrop.
switch.
Threatening to make that the big 1-0. And the Glazers just going to force up, see what they can make happen here, but it's not pretty.
I mean, this is like one of those series, these last couple of rounds where like the commentary is just not even needed. Like we can just watch these guys go at each other. Gloves are off though. I mean, out of the 12 rounds of defense we've had, we're bordering on 5 of just these Infiltrator double blast pack pushdowns into mid, and it happens again. I mean, talk about just oozing confidence. If Winthrop continue to just pull this off, it wins them 80% of the map, and now they know where the hit's coming from, and they can put together a response. It's just so good for Winthrop.
Zachary was able to play ahead of the troops, but kind of gives himself away with the paint shells thrown into market. Gucci there, Sadambova. Zachary trying to hold that right side angle, and goes up and challenges. Isn't punished for it, question mark. Moves able to at least get the 1-for-1. Zachary only 85 HP, Riku struggling to hang in here. And it might be another time for a Infiltrator round. Almost gets yacked on there. But eventually is brought to heel. So the Glazers get themselves a paltry 3 from the half.
Switching sides.
Winthrop, though, again, really feeling themselves. Really in a bit of a flow.
Yeah.
Infiltrator and Moves both carrying on their performance from map 2.
Yeah, it's just, I mean, 30 combined in 12 rounds. Like, what are we talking about? It's unreal how much value Winthrop can find out of Infiltrator and Moves when they're playing like this. And again, talk about Nasi. 11 assists through 12 rounds, my guy. It's just, this team, when they are really clicking, they look great. It looks like the team that beat Turtle Troop. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, they're not to be taken lightly. And I think it goes to show that this Group E was immensely competitive in a lot of ways. First blood, though, this time, again, must-win pistol here for the Glazers. Gets back in the immediacy of things.
Overloading elbow now. Infiltrator. 2 satchels on your pistol. Heck yeah, brother. Position now being forced to fold back away from those. And this guy will not be stopped. Oh, yeah. He built a little dip today. Zachary here, paint shells. I try and swing from behind him here, just in case there was a plant happening in default. Spoilers. It wasn't. Now he's embedded on the side at the very least here. Is the spike is headed in towards spawn? Excuse me. They're making noise, and Ange hears it all.
Did they check this angle quickly?
Take this fight.
Oh, knife out. Hello? Is this thing on? Unreal.
Brutal.
Fault line to follow up.
That's wrong. Riku's going to be there, though.
right, you tell
This
him.
game has descended into an absolute clown fiesta. The Glazers, they make the right calls. They're intercepting that rotation through spawn.
I mean, wow. This is, you know, refreshing isn't the right word, but it is fun to watch. I'll say that much. Again, gloves are off here. And for Winthrop, they're fine to have this because they've already put themselves into the qualification. The thing about it, and what I'm really kind of like getting tickled by, is the fact that I know for a fact YFP and Thinking Man are on the edge of their seats, like going bananas over some just Wild West Valorant right now.
There's got to be something funny about using other teams' fates as a choke. Oh, the flash! That could have gone very differently.
Down
Riku,
A.
they're still having fun too. Zachary there. On clean-up duty. Glazers making up a huge amount of their deficit, and these flashes are hitting perfectly. See done there by Drone. Real facilitated this game. Sometimes taking matters into his own hands as well.
Clean.
Put that one to bed real quick.
And I love that the Glazers here, again, it's early, they had a weapon advantage, but I love that even through the pistol, they're not allowing Winthrop to continue to just to get away with this raw aggression. Like, they're still putting up like a wall here saying, yeah, you cannot just run over us like this. The question's going to be, though, for me is like, with how much Infiltrator got away with that mid, does Winthrop try to use that as an opportunity to continue to build advantages through mid-map and try to find different setups? Or do you just kind of overwhelm and try to go quickly through things like B main as soon as the barriers drop? There's a lot of opportunity, I think, just based on the success that you've gotten from the Moobs Infiltrator combination. In this round, I think they hear the spy cam get placed late, but it doesn't stop the aggression. The fault line Prowler combo's decent, and it's a 1-for-1 opener.
Okay, you take that. The attacking side. Need a little bit more where that came from, though, now, and there is some pressure closing in at A, mate. Mid will be watched diligently there by Jer. Yeah, that Cypher util is basically undisturbed, so feels like pretty raw option to try and push in to be any further. And they are pinging spawn. They kind of know that Riku's on this flank.
Do they fully know? I mean, they're definitely looking for someone to pull through. And it's going to be on
how long they sat here waiting.
That's the real question. And okay, timing will work out. So, all right, Jerk is going to let him know about that. Yeah. But the question's still posed here. I mean, that took a lot of time off the clock. And outside of a little bit of doubt here for the Glazers, this setup for Precision's still pretty solid, all things told. I mean, he knows nothing's over towards market, and he can just kind of play a corner and see if he can get away with at least one, if not two here.
Okay, well, the Prowler at least eats up the tripwire. Moves can clear that without exposing someone. I don't think he thinks Precision is there. There's another tripwire in play, of course.
Spike down. B.
Or rather, it never actually got removed by the looks of things. Either way, you have your access to the site now. The Glazers are down to 2. His plan is guaranteed.
Spike planted.
And there's really just the paranoia to retake here. There is a knife that could be tossed to get a look, but they've already cleared out market. There's the knife a little bit deeper. It does reveal at least one. Drone able to collect. Now we go 2v2. Definitely a chance. It just comes down to can they get into the space in time, because you have a Bulldog and a Stinger, and that's the problem. Ange can't really get into part of the play.
3 kills.
Interesting. I guess they don't know where Drone is. I'm surprised that Nazi doesn't just group up with Jerk here and play the double swing. That feels like it almost guarantees you the round win. Now Jerk under some pressure. Drone's going to go and challenge this. You think Jerk's trying to send a message?
Yeah, I'll say so. That was a message, and then also the postscript afterwards. And again, this is a low-pressure match, a map of VALORANT right now for Winthrop, and technically for the Glazers, but I still have to give credit to, like, the playbook isn't going to change. Like, you're not just going to, like, give away your training because it's a map 3 that, in layman's terms, doesn't necessarily matter besides possible seeding things, I guess. But it's one of those situations that Winthrop are, again, crossing T's and dotting I's in a lot of these setups. To be able to get the read on the lurk play and quickly deal with it, and then also at least be diligent enough to clear out some of the corners around B is just so well done, so well structured. And now we got moves just on another I'm feeling it peak. Infiltrator behind him doing the same thing.
Yeah, really fundamental. Like, there's nothing particularly complex about how this round is playing out at all. The Glazers are already down to 2. This might just break them. This might just break them in general for this entire map.
Yeah,
and
so.
Really trying to hold his own, but it's still 3 guns in the hands of Winthrop. That economy's starting to burgeon now, whereas the Glazers have a rapidly decelerating birth rate of GDP that hasn't been positive since, I mean, they were children.
Yeah, it's not good, to say the least. And this is going to be round 12 here as well, most likely, if they don't try to force buy, which anyone who's trying to play for a win would force buy here. And you got the Thrasher close to a null command, and you got a Showstopper, so there's no reason to not put all your eggs into this basket. And this is the game essentially here for the Glazers, and they've got the right tools available. But Infiltrator has a Showstopper, and he's been playing aggressive. Will they do the same thing again over towards B? Spy Cam plays that more passive angle, doesn't make a difference. Infiltrator, Goomba stops Precision, and Drone can only sit here and watch.
He got the paint shells. Infiltrator having to trade out some of his own here. Boombot just ignores Gucci. Don't worry about it, fam. Thrash here defensively. It doesn't make it to its target. It gets picked off either way. Here's the double pressure from Marker, but Infiltrator gets ahead of it. This guy's feeling for timing has been sublime this map. Bloody hell, that is nasty.
Wow. Absolute wow. And there is a level, like, I don't want to make like it sounds like I'm again, building this up a little bit too much, but there's a level of confidence that gets built off of rounds that or maps that look like this for Winthrop going into midseason cup. Look back on it and say there are some things here that maybe we were just kind of like, can we get away with this? And oh wait, we are? Like maybe we add that into the playbook. Like there are a lot of inspiring things here for Winthrop looking forward. And it's clean, it's polished, and you've got individuals that are collecting off of it. Rolling Thunder through, Prowler also supporting, but the double bass spikes don't really come through fully. And now the Nightfall has to be used to try to break through this trapwire setup, which it does. Into the site, Infiltrator just not freaking missing.
And he's far from done. He knew exactly where Angel will be sitting. Care of the Nightfall. Now it's just a matter of cleanup. Okay, from Zach. I like that. Fighting Infiltrator here, but Gucci, do they know that Aaron's still embedded? I like that they double check it, but they get sprayed down, which has been the bloody story of the entirety of Sunset. And that is Winthrop get themselves a win here. And of course, we could talk about the implications of that after the fact, but the Glazers didn't have much life left in them by the time we got to Sunset.
I mean, that's just so clean for Winthrop. And that's the other part about it is like, I think those that are kind of watching and are really watching like the scoreboards and the leaderboards and stuff like that. Like that was just the second series win for Winthrop, but we talked about it a number of times in like the pre-show. Like Winthrop has worked out some of the top teams. They beat Turtle Troop, who's the #1 team coming out of the group now. They had a pretty decent showing versus M80. I mean, this is not a team to be taken lightly. It's definitely one of those things that when these two guys, eventually moves, can play like this, and the supporting cast is allowing them and enabling them to do more than that, it's just, man, this team can be tough to beat. I think they could beat just about anybody.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's not just in this game that they've shown that. You put it out. It's not even in their winning games that they've shown that as well.
Yeah.
There have been some really compelling fights that they had against SAD, against M80. Like this team has shown us that they are really quality. They are putting in a lot of work, even outside of challenges, right? They've got the facilities. They've got everything in place. And I think they're a great example of like a proof of concept for, a collegiate team to step up here and put up numbers, in these organized leagues. Look at that post-plant numbers for the Glazers. That is just heartbreaking.
Yeah, Sierra, I know you've been kind of watching through this as well. First blood tally is also not good. So Winthrop convincing from pretty much start to finish in this one.
100%. And it looks like they were just having they're playing good Valorant, but they're also playing fun, confident Valorant too. And honestly, I loved this look coming out from Winthrop University. Again, you guys said it, but this is a confident look. This is inspiring going on forward. And this is exactly what I want to see from them now that they do know that they have the midseason cup ahead of them, since, hey, that's going to be where their sights are on next, right? For the Glazers, I mean, this was a series. We already talked about that heartbreak. That heartbreak was a map ago. We knew going into this they were not fighting for themselves, and I think too it was just a little bit of a struggle. I mean, you're coming off of a tough situation here, Uber. You're also going up against an infiltrator that's honestly just, I don't know, decided to be cracked out of his mind. It's everything stacked against you.
Yeah. I mean, and you can see the way the infiltrator was playing is that it didn't really matter. Like they kind of got what they wanted done. This also means that, of course, that YFP from Group A will end up remaining, and it will be Thinking Men that gets sent to the relegation promotion tournament, which is kind of fair. Like Thinking Men have been pretty good, right? And they have taken maps off MXS, for example. They've had a pretty good run here, but the consistency hasn't been there. They finally get that, elusive first win. I'm sure they're frustrated now to have to compete in that tournament, but that's the way the cookie crumbles. Both groups have actually turned out to be quite competitive, even all the way down to 5th place.
Yeah, we'll talk a little bit more about how this affects everything and how those standings are raking up. But first, we're going to have a quick break with our post-series highlights before we're back with an interview from Winthrop University.
Enemy. Spike down. One enemy ready. Clutch.
Satchel out.
Clear. Oh, I dead. One enemy remaining. One enemy remaining.
The side. Nightmares.
Attacker.
Bye.
player standing.
See ya. Beat back.
One enemy remaining.
Yikes.
One enemy.
There.
One enemy remaining.
Toxin screen.
Attackers win. One enemy remaining. Spike down A. One enemy. Spike planted. One enemy remaining. One enemy remaining. One enemy remaining.
Dropped.
One enemy remaining.
After a dominant sunset, Winthrop University to take the series 2-1. They're safe from the relegation promotion tournament. They're going to be moving on to the mid-season cup. And hey, another win under their belts. And to talk to me a little bit more, man of the hour, I got Infiltrator on the line. First off, I have to say congratulations on the victory. Congratulations on your performance as well. You were crushing, especially that last map. How are you feeling now after this victory?
I'm feeling pretty good. My teammates are all hyped. I'm hyped. We're not getting relegated, so let's go! Yay!
Love that for you guys, for sure. And hey, it definitely was like a nice sigh of relief because you just had to be winning the one to then put yourselves in a good spot. So how do you then hit the sunset? Because it kind of seems like you in particular were having a little fun with it, kind of like GG go kill.
Yeah.
Or is it kind of just a happier mood going into that map?
This is a happier mood, and then once we got up a couple rounds, and it kind of felt like they weren't trying as hard. So I was just like, yeah, just send me down mid every round or something.
I gotta know who's cracking up next to you.
We got Eshawn, Dallas, and Moves.
Congratulations, everyone. Right, so for real. I know for yourself that you haven't been competing with the team while they've been doing their CVAL, but how has it then been for them? Because they've been doing that double duty in all those matches. Like, have you felt like everyone's been like more ramped up, or has it been exhausting for them?
I'm also playing in those CVAL matches, and they're pretty exhausting. Yeah. They're pretty exhausting, but it is what it is. Just gotta go to school and play, and we're made challengers, so it's been a lot of time into Valorant.
It definitely is. But do you think that it's paying off here with the performance that we're seeing at least?
Oh yeah, I think it is paying off. We've definitely. What are you doing? We definitely saw a lot of improvement going on in this tournament.
Winthrop University, I mean, you guys are all a really like cool team to be watching throughout this, because first collegiate team that we have here in Challengers, and Winthrop University, I know that there has been some tough losses along the way, but you've shown that you can go toe-to-toe with some of these really, really top teams. So how does that feel then going on forward to the mid-season cup and all this other times competing, when you know that despite you have your school going on, you have CVAL going on, you have so many other things that you can compete?
So during the mid-season, I think it's in the summer, so we won't have as much school, so we can practice as much as like the other teams can. So I think we'll definitely be head-to-head. Yeah.
I'm excited to see it. And how do you think the team has grown together throughout Challengers, considering that this is a new level of competition than normally the collegiate stuff that you all get to compete in?
I'm not really sure, but all I know is that everyone has their own, like, we all have our skills and like mechanics and everything, and I think it really shows playing against these Challengers players and top Challengers teams.
I mean, everyone's gone to shine, so it has been awesome. I know the team's all there, and I want to make sure you have time to go celebrate with everyone in Infiltrator. So thank you so much for chatting. Congratulations again on the win, all right?
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Bye.
Goodbye, everyone. Great stuff coming out from the team. Good vibes all around. I'll bring a couple of the good vibes that we have over on the desk back so we can chat a little bit about, you know, wrapping things up. I mean, Uber, love to see it coming out from Winthrop University. Everyone's there. Everyone's celebrating. Just good stuff all around.
Yeah, I mean, these guys are working hard. They got a lot going on right now. And I think, you know, to sort of secure their spot in Challengers for a little bit longer, you know, make sure they're going to be a part of that mid-season tournament. That means that, like, there's a lot more opportunities to gain experience, right? You know, at this tier of play, which is, as we've seen for them, been really challenging. Like, this is a great environment for them to be in right now that supplements their play through CVAL, for example. And it seems like the energy is really good there. So got to give them credit. They've been working hard. They're still able to have the energy to take a series like this and have looked good. You know, I think, you know, at least in a map, a series through much of their run through Challenges. So I'm really looking forward to see how they continue to develop now. They have the opportunity to do so.
Yeah, it's really, really cool stuff. I've really appreciated throughout the series as we take a look back at our standings, now that we are actually done with our first stage of Challengers here, to see how much some of these teams have grown and just kind of stepped up. Because there's a couple of things here that going into this shift, I kind of expected things would lie. MXS, you know, top of Group A there, not necessarily too surprised. But where things have kind of shook up, especially along the bottom half of this, I think has been, I don't know, it's been a lot closer than I expected at points.
Well, this last week kind of threw away everyone's power ranking predictions because, I mean, let's be honest. We were sitting here singing like, we've got a top three and then their large gap and everybody else. But out of that top three, which is often labeled as MXS, Oxygen, M80, Oxygen now find themselves third, losing to Core Gaming, and M80 losing to Turtle Trip today kind of spoils a lot of that. And, you know, there was this element, and I was kind of curious, kind of looking back over, especially the Core Oxygen game, it's like, was Oxygen like trying new maps that they aren't all that great at? Did they try to like build up their map fluency? No, they just got beat. Like, they legitimately got beat. And the same thing happened to M80 today. So, you know, I've seen the comments out there on like Reddit and stuff. What the community often has to say, it's just like the stage hasn't been as entertaining to watch because the top three are beating everybody up. You guys are all wrong. We're all wrong. I mean, this midseason cup is framed up to be a banger based on what we're getting on these standings.
I think the only one that's right out of any of us is Wyatt with whatever he was predicting this week.
Yeah, the thinking man winning.
God, dude, that guy's on one.
Plane of existence.
Yeah, honestly. But of course, with the standings, it's points on the line, circuit points. But of course, we have to talk about the final consequences of this series here. Of course, after that map 2, well, Winthrop University, they were going to be moving on regardless there. But we needed to see the win here coming out from them if we wanted to see YFP make their way to the mid-season tournament. So with that, Uber, I mean, Thinky Men, I know they're probably watching on the side. Both teams probably were on the edge of their seats for that one. But it will be Thinking Men that join the Glazers in that relegation promotion tournament.
Yeah, look, and it's obviously hard to, you know, to say this about a team that I've been impressed by at points, but Thinking Men had some fantastic individual maps in some of these series, right? Getting one against MXS, beating Together We Are terrific. Getting that one against YFP, that bind game that was really strong. Like the Yoru play was excellent, but it's not happening often enough. So, down to the relegation tournament, they need to really shape that map pool up here because, they have a really tough group, right? They really had to beat Core or YFP either to sort of solidify themselves here. And, against Core, like, it was a competitive series, right? They also had problems finishing games. I think both maps against Core were like 13-11s, right? We're talking about the team that beat Oxygen. So that group is nasty. Thinkermen are a quality team. I personally don't think they're going to have a problem in the relegation tournament either.
Me either.
I think with the highest from this team are way too high for them to sort of stumble here randomly.
Yeah, and hopefully too that, all right, we got to band together, lives on our line, that they'll be able to click that a way that we haven't necessarily gotten to see from Challengers. We keep seeing a lot of good things, but this is definitely a competitive space out here, and if you're not performing at your peak, I mean, it is tough out here this time around. But that is it for stage 1 here for North America Challengers. Make sure to be tuning in next time for the promotion relegation tournament. And thank you all so much for tuning in. Thanks for production for crushing it. Thank you both and all the casters along the way.
Shout out Shelton the GOAT.
And Shelton,
The goat.
the absolute GOAT. Appreciate you all so much. Appreciate you, Shelton, everyone behind the scenes. And we'll hopefully see you all real soon. Have a good night, everyone.
Spike down B. One enemy remaining. One enemy remaining. Spike down A. Spike down B. One enemy One enemy remaining. Standing. One. One enemy remaining. One enemy remaining. One enemy remaining. Down A. 30 seconds left.
Give me the one. See ya.
One enemy remains.
Bye. One down.
One enemy remains.
Ground.
One enemy remaining. One enemy remaining. Down A. One enemy remaining. Defenders win. One enemy One enemy remaining. Worthless. One enemy remaining. Nice. One enemy remaining. One enemy remaining. Spike. One enemy remaining. One enemy remaining. Last player standing.
That's bears. Enemy.
Spike down. One enemy ready. left. Planted. Last player standing.
See ya. Beat back.
One enemy remaining.
Yikes.
One enemy.
There.
One enemy remaining. Attackers win. One enemy remaining. Spike down A. One enemy. Spike planted. One enemy remaining. One enemy remaining. One enemy remaining.